Hello, this is Balin, and welcome to Balin's Corner. Today I'm going to do my deck profile for my Kaalia deck. It's the very first Magic the Commander deck I ever built. I bought the starter deck, I believe, back in 2012, and I've always just kind of stuck with that deck. I have other decks as well, but this deck's always been like my most important deck, so I've always kind of um, added to it, taken away from it, but it's always been my deck. Very few cards are in it, obviously, from the original starter deck, except for Kali itself, but I've always just liked this deck, and I'm a huge Angel player. I love to play Angels, so it works out very well. So I'll start out with the instance. I play Pay No Heed, Defiant Strike, God's Willing, Shielded Passage, Expedite, Titan Strength, Lightning Bolt, Wild Slash, Boros Charm, Grotesque Mutation, Timber Battle Rage, Riot Control, Second Sunrise, Return to Dust, and Comeuppance. I don't run a ton of any type of, like, I would call spells. I run mostly monsters, but I do run enough instants, I feel like, to give me draw power, protect my early game, as well as deal with some interesting little things if they come about. Um, but those are the instants. Next up, I will do the sorceries, and they are Renegade Tactics, Day of Judgment. Got to be able to destroy all creatures, especially in a deck like this that has indestructible. Diabolic Tutor, Merciless Eviction, Mob Rule, and Burn from Within. Still similar kind of idea, mostly tech cards. Um, the ability to blow up all the monsters is very important. It allows me to be able to do things to keep my field protected at the same time as getting rid of my opponent's field. I don't really have too much of an issue with building a field. I just have to be able to protect my field versus them because I do have a lot of high cost creatures. My enchantments are Gift of Immortality and Ghostly Prison. I only run the two enchantments. I feel like they are the perfect ones for the deck. Um, and I feel like they run easy to get out, and they've got a lot of ability late game. The next thing I'll go over is my artifact. Obviously, Soul Ring. It's the must-have. And then I like to do a lot of hexproof cards. I want to make sure that my Kaalia can't be popped very easily. So I run Swiftfoot Boots, Rogue Gloves, Lightning Greaves, Mask of Avacyn, Burnished Heart, Whisper Silk Cloak, Commander's Fear, and last, Menelith. Um, a lot of these are kind of versatile. Mostly it's hexproof, shroud kind of idea, as well as being able to get to the mana base up. Because if you don't have your mana base running with a high cost deck like this, and they're able to keep Kali off the field, you're in trouble from the very beginning. The next we'll talk about will be the creatures. And first I'll do the humans. These are kind of like my early game basic cards that I want to use to get rolling up until I can get into my angels. But I run Sarah Ascendant, High Priest of Pittance, Thalia's Lieutenant, Imposing Sovereign, Seeker of the Way, Great Abolisher, Camball Consul of Allocation, Mentor of the Meek, Monastery Mentor, Thalia Heretic Cantor, and Tessa Envoy of the Ghosts. Most of those are extremely low drop. cost. Tessa's really the only high one, but they work out really well to build an early game, to keep your opponent off guard while you're preparing your mana base to play your angels. And they work out really good. They've all got buffs, and they've all got some kind of ability to tech to keep themselves out there longer, kind of thing. And mostly white. You notice a theme. Most of the deck is white, simply because that way I don't have as much issues when it comes to mana. I can usually get into that pretty easy, and not have any trouble with my mana base, or having any trouble having the wrong colors at a given time. And then I've got a couple cards that I would call the oddballs of the deck. They're not human, and they're not angel or demon, or they're just kind of the extras, because they've got some good tech abilities that help out the deck. First is Drana, Liberator of Malakir. Second is Sun Titan. And last is Felidar Sovereign. They're very good tech cards. They'll just kind of keep you going. And if some reason they can stop your angels, you've got something else to be able to work with. Um, so you can keep rolling. Okay. Now to the angels, the heart of the deck. And I run Seraph of the Sword, Angelic Field Marshal, Archangel of Thune, Archangel Avacyn, Avacyn Guardian Angel, Angel of Invention, Angel of Sanctions, Aurelia the War Leader, Angelic Skirmisher, Gazelle Blade of Gold Knight, Exquisite Archangel, Avacyn Angel of Hope, and Rhea Dawnbringer. I love that card. I absolutely love it. I used to run Ionet, obviously, until they banned it. And then I put Archangel Thune in to replace it. The deck isn't hurt any by any means by not having that card, but it was a great card to have just in case to keep you going. And it pretty much locked your opponent down once you played it. So that was just a great, great card. That's my angels. I don't run a ton of them, and they are mostly all high drops just because they have great abilities, and because Kaalia can literally play them for free. So that makes it, why not, kind of thing. I run two demons, Demon of Wailing Agonies and Omnixilus Unshackled. They're just perfect balancing. I don't run any dragons in the deck at all, but these two here just kind of balance off the angels a little bit because they have great abilities that complement them. You notice, like I said before, it's pretty much a white deck. And then last but not least, my last creatures are the three gods. Iris, God of Victory, Heliod, God of the Sun, and Erebos, God of the Dead. They're just perfect. I don't see any reason to change them or add to any of the other guard cards. They're the perfect blend for the deck. But then my last card that's not mana based land is Soren Markov. I love this Planeswalker. He's my favorite. I have a lot of black, red, white Planeswalkers. And at some point I probably had them all in here, from Liliana to other Sorens to other things. But he's the perfect Planeswalker for the deck. And really, you don't need any more than one because you're going to run a huge deck anyway with all the angels. Okay, so finally into the land, and I run a lot of land of multiple colors, obviously, and only a few basic land. One of my lands is Isolated Chapel, Scored Barrens, Myria the Sky Ruin, Akum Refuge, Windscarred Crag, Godless Shrine, Nomad Outpost, Boros Guildgate, Bloodfell Caves, Urborg Volcano, Orzhov Godgate, Rakdos Godgate, Temple of Silence, Concealed Courtyard, Orksov Basilica, Rakdos Carnarium, Boros Garrison, Grand Coliseum, Nykthos Shrine of Nyx, and Command Tower. It works out perfect. I don't ever have an issue with mana. I feel like I have the perfect blend because I run 90% white deck. This perfectly covers all the white, and then anything extra I'm going to need if I happen to get other cards in. And between these and my artifacts, I never have an issue with mana. And I can usually get out pretty quickly, which works out really, really well. And last but not least is just a basic land. I run 7 planes, all full art. I love full art lands. I run 3 swamp and 4 mountains. I do have a little bit more red than black, so that works out perfect. But that's the deck as a whole. Tell me what you think, if you think I should change anything. If you think there's cards that have come out recently that I haven't included in the deck, or something like that. But hope you liked the video. And if you did, subscribe, press like. Have a great day.